Bupa for living.
Hello and welcome to Inspiring Indian Women's Nari to Narayani. I'm Smita Sarkar, your host for the evening. International Women's Day is celebrated in the month of March, and in today's episode, we will talk about a project run by a charity of women for the benefit of women. It is an e outlet that intends to pave the road for women entrepreneurs to become self reliant. To discuss this beautiful initiative and its impact on businesses, we have with us today the Customer Relationship Manager of eOutlet, Sarika Handa. Sarika, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Smita.
And we also have with us Bhavini Dutia, the founder of Vani, the language school. She has registered with eOutlet and will tell us how her business will get an impetus on this platform. So let me start with Sarika. Sarika, can you please tell us what the e-outlet is and you know what your team thought when they started the project?
Smita, it is a new pioneering concept of an e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
platform for women entrepreneurs. This is like
Mm-hmm.
something like an eBay or an Amazon. But here,
Okay.
somebody who is a sole trader, he can register, and it's not only product, but as well as the services. I'm pretty sure nothing of that sort is there for Indian women and small entrepreneurs at that level right now. That's what our e-outlet is all about.
Okay, so it is basically an online platform, right? So if you could tell us a
It
little
is
bit
an
on,
online.
how this platform will work, say from the time that the businesses come on board till they actually make a sale through you.
Right. So we have various platforms like customer service manager is there, customer service relationship is
Mm-hmm.
there. We have an application. You can download that application and register. So the first step is
Okay.
registration actually, which would mean you can do by
Okay.
various means. From social media, you can get the details, you can
Okay.
register through that, or through our
Mm-hmm.
website, or through our customer relationship number. Really, you have to get in touch with us to begin with. And we do your GDPR, we do all the compliance related things, all legal issues. And then from back end, we make you active, which means you're on board with us, really. It's as simple as that.
Okay. So that's a lot of work actually. It's quite helpful, I think, for especially for sole traders who don't really have such a huge manpower with them, or to go through all this. So that's very good. Sarika, I'll just come back to you a little bit more about. We'll talk a little bit more about the e outlet a little later. I'll go to Bhavini now. Bhavini, you started Bani, the language school, amidst the lockdown. This is the time when all businesses actually shut down. But you started your business in a milieu like that. And your business has done phenomenally well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, your journey and how this started?
Yes, of course. Hi, Smita. Thank you for
Hi.
having me here. Yes, I did actually start
The
my
pleasure's
business.
all ours.
I did start my business last year, and you're so right. Honestly, I was nervous starting it at a time when other business were
Right.
folding or closing down and all. But I had this
Mm-hmm.
vision for over 2 years because I've always been very fluent in languages since childhood, and I can
Mm-hmm.
speak more than five Indian languages myself. So I
Okay.
have an 8-year-old boy, and he is kind of the motivation behind starting this school actually, because I always wanted him
Okay.
to know Indian languages as well. So
Mm-hmm.
although I was a bit worried about starting something new, I took the plunge and started in summer of last year. And I started teaching kids initially, and it received a really good response. And I started teaching adults very shortly after. And in between that, what
Okay,
happened is I also lost my corporate job. I got made redundant due to the impact of COVID. So I think it gave me an opportunity to make a fresh start with my language school. I guess you can say in a way that I found my true calling in this, and I'm really glad that the response has been phenomenal. And I'm glad I pursued my passion, and now I'm playing this part in saving Indian languages. In such a short
right,
time, we've
right.
trained close to 100 students already in less than 8 months, and teaching
Okay. Mhm.
all over the UK, Europe, and America as well.
Right, right. So what languages do you teach?
At the moment, I'm teaching Hindi and Gujarati to kids and adults,
Okay.
and I plan to introduce several other Indian languages, including Punjabi, Marathi, Tamil, Bengali. They're
Mm-hmm.
all in the pipeline,
Right.
and many hopefully. So, as I said before, I am on
Okay.
a mission to save our mother tongue, if we want to put it that way,
Right.
and I want to reach as many people as I can to reignite this passion for Indian languages.
So what is the age group of your students? How young is the youngest one, and how old is your adult student?
Yeah. I start for the kids. I start from age 4 onwards. So what I try
Okay,
to do,
that's early. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think under 4, then to keep their attention online, especially, it's a bit hard. So
Mm-hmm.
4 is a good age to start. And they say the earlier you
Okay,
start with language, the better it is, because I was actually reading
absolutely.
research on it, and from age 4 to
Mm-hmm.
6, if you start, it's perfect. From age 6 to 11, that language starts registering in your brain, or kind of becomes a part of your
Right,
identity. So the sooner you
right,
start, the better
right.
it is. But as I said,
Mm-hmm.
I do have teens as well, and adults. So my oldest adult student is, I think, close to, I think, late 40s or 50s. Yeah. I
Okay,
actually had a
okay. So
yeah, sorry, go on.
okay. No, so that's amazing. 4 to 40. So that's quite a range, right?
Yeah, it
So
is. Yeah. But
so
it's
that's
fun.
fantastic. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. When you start your Bangla classes, you must tell me because I'm going to send my daughters to learn Bangla with you. Well, I keep trying at home, and often we do that, right? Parents we keep speaking to them in our mother tongue, expecting that they will kind of respond and pick it up. But there's such a lack of exposure otherwise, because otherwise you're like constantly speaking in English and wherever with friends and everything. So this lack of exposure makes it difficult for them to, just pick up the language as easily as we, having grown up in India would have. So,
That's ex-
so it is a challenge, I think, and I think it's brilliant that you're actually, doing providing a service like this where they get this institutionalized, proper, structured, study time with the language. So it's brilliant. Sarika, I'll come to you now. Uh, I see quite a few, very powerful women entrepreneurs being a part of e-outlet. And I was wondering what kind of services can people actually look for in this platform?
Right. Very good question, Smita. Actually, we do have really powerful women. Every woman
Hmm.
is so talented and their abilities are just too good. It's just a matter of getting it to the wider public so that has a bigger
Right.
reach. Now, I would like to give you an example of Vaishali. So she was working,
Hmm.
and last year sometime she wasn't well and she had to leave her corporate job.
Okay.
And that's when she
Right.
realized that she has this, she was so talented about jewelry and cloth. So she has really lovely
Right.
collection of
Hmm.
ultrakriti of various things. And now, since we know how good the ability is, what kind of things are available, we wanted to reach to wider
Hmm.
public. Because otherwise, what
Right.
happens really is you have the motivation, you have the stuff, but infrastructure sometimes, which is not possible for everyone. Sometimes they do not have the right contacts, which makes it very difficult, or you can say it is a
True.
hassle. Whereas through us,
Mm-hmm.
we do, services like legal complication, which comes when generally you register, or if you have to go to a bigger market, it's very challenging.
Right.
And here
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah,
say
absolutely.
we want to empower you and we will do all that for you. The GDPR thing,
Mm-hmm.
the compliances. In fact, when it comes to food, it is the standards of British, UK is different. So one has to
Mm-hmm.
adhere to
Mm-hmm.
that. And then food regulations and hygiene regulations and all those things. We said we'll do it for you. And sometimes there's, a gap kind of where we need some skilled people to take it to a different level, and we want
Right.
some,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of getting them on board and making them go wider. I think that's what
Yeah. Yeah.
our services, probably this e-outlet would help them in a big way.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you because I think for startups, it's so important to have, a good network. And I mean, you don't have a marketing team separately, you don't have a legal team and everything. So, I mean, it is actually, the services you're providing for them is amazing. And I think these
Yeah, I
powerful
mean,
entrepreneurs who actually have the power will actually benefit a lot because they have the talent, they have the power, they have the vision for their business. And if they get a
especially.
platform where they get this support, then yes.
Exactly. See,
Sorry.
especially when it comes to, sorry to interrupt you, because especially when it
No, no,
comes to
that's fine. Mm-hmm.
advertisement, they can only
Mm-hmm.
reach to a certain category of people, whereas the market is really
True.
wide. We are so much here,
Absolutely.
and we just want that kind that people should come upon, and we should be able to help them. And advertisement is
Right,
something
right.
which people do for them once they're there with us, and we will help
Okay.
them to grow as much as possible. That's what probably will be
Right.
our thinking to take them on board.
Okay. That's very good.
Mhm.
That's very good to know. Yeah. I'll ask another question to Bhavini. Bhavini, you were just saying that you teach languages to children as young as 4. And I was just wondering, especially online, when children have already had an overdose of online learning because schools are shut. You're like, already putting in so many hours of learning online. I mean, it must be quite challenging, right? So, I mean, what kind of techniques do you use to keep them kind of interested? How long are your classes to begin with, and how do you manage to, what kind of techniques do you use to keep them kind of interested in uh, in these classes?
That's a very good question, actually, and I'm glad you asked it because different age
On
groups
the
they
count
need
of
to
three,
have
1, 2,
different
3.
techniques
Clothes
because
kapde,
to keep them
clothes
motivated,
kapde, shoes.
as you can see, the kids need to be taught with songs. So I write my own catchy songs for each topic.
Mm-hmm.
This helps
Mm-hmm.
these songs. I write them myself, and these songs help the kids remember the new vocabulary that they are learning every week. And the
Right.
lesson group lessons, and they are very interactive. So usually the kids'
Mm-hmm.
lessons are for around 40 to 45 minutes. I think that's just a perfect
Mm-hmm.
time for kids to keep them involved, interacted, and make sure each and every child is participating. So songs, stories. I
Right.
also teach sentences, and once they move to term 3, I also introduce kids grammar for them as well. So that's really
Okay.
helpful. Yeah, not straight away. Initially, it's more a lot about getting them in to fall in love with the language, if we can put it that way. So I think by the end of
Okay.
the kids are like they don't want to miss any session. Actually, it fills me with pride to say that
Right.
the because of the teaching style being so unique, it helps them remember
Mm-hmm.
the vocabulary. And we have story sessions as well, which I do in English and in the language whatever I'm teaching, Hindi, Gujarati, whatever. So the kids actually
Right.
look for
Right.
then. So you won't believe it, one of my
Mm-hmm.
students to have a lesson on her birthday, even though we don't
Oh.
have. And then last week, in fact, I had a student who had a surgery who attended the session from the hospital bed because he didn't want to miss his
Wow.
session. So I think that in
So,
itself tells me that these methods are working and the kids are loving it. And
right.
so involve like in having cultural topics like as you saw in the video, we did Jana Gana Mana. So I taught them how to do it and to sing, and we all sang together. All the batches came together and they all sang it for Republic Day, and they also learned about Republic Day. So I think it's a bit of mixture of cultural as well as language, keeps the kids interested. But even for the adults as well, the lessons are still very interactive, where they get to participate, they get to have conversations and everything. So yeah, it keeps them coming back for more.
That's amazing. So your services are basically geared towards the Indian diasporas living abroad, and then they have a minimum exposure to the language and culture of their country. And it's so diverse. India is so diverse, and I think your vision of teaching them the culture while you're actually teaching them the language is it's so powerful. I think it's a very holistic approach, and I must congratulate you for this. It's kind of really really relatable as well. I mean, imagine if every time I've tried to get my children to sit down and tell them about the Durga Puja, which is like the main festival for us. Within a few minutes, they would go like, "Okay, we've heard enough of your blabbering. Can we go now?" But but if it's a third party or a person providing that service, I think it makes life a lot more easier, isn't it?
Yeah, it does, because it's more structured, and it's done in the form of a story and everything. So they kind of
Right.
it arouses their curiosity in the subject or the topic,
Mm-hmm.
whatever that might be. So yeah, and the based on what you just said, I have so many parents who come to me and say the same thing, that we try to speak at home. Our child understands the
Right.
language, but they don't speak it back.
Mm-hmm.
And within a few lessons with me, I think any kind of structured approach, not just me, but any kind of structured
Right.
approach learning, which is why we have schools, right? For otherwise we would
Yes,
all be
of course.
homeschooling. I think any
Right.
kind of structured approach always helps the kids, and then it can be supplemented at home as well. Then
Right. Right. Yes, yes, absolutely. I think uniqueness, this uniqueness that you've just spoken about, kind of uh, having a mix of the language as well as the culture. I think that's what kind of makes it work, and also the structure, which is obviously a very well planned syllabus or a well planned structure to it. So, talking about the uniqueness, let me ask Sarika this question. Sarika, like I was just, I think uniqueness of any project is probably the only way ahead for success of any initiative. So, what is it that makes the e-outlet so unique in its category?
Yes, Smita, I would have loved to answer that question, but let me just tell about Bhavani, because I know when she came to e-outlet, we realized that she runs the classes, and I was like, wow, I have to do that for my children, and that's exactly the point
Hmm.
of e-outlet, to reach wider public. Now we know, and a lot of other people
Absolutely.
know about it and want to join. But coming back to your question, Smita, uniqueness is it's firstly free. There is no charge, no hidden cost attached to it. That's the biggest advantage of this e-outlet, which we are. Secondly, it's for women. Till now, there are various places where you need a trademark, or you would probably have to be some big business to register yourself. But this is nothing of that sort. This is absolutely no hidden cost, just purely talent, purely passionate about what your work is. Now, once when we speak to a lot of people, and how we were thinking about this e-outlet is, we realized people are not, they have the things, they have the products, they have the services, but it's not reaching to wider public. It's just there to a local business, or in a particular area. Now, the uniqueness of this particular platform is it doesn't necessarily has to be big. We will do that for you. We will do the compliances for you. The biggest headache which one sees is, how do you do the legal process? How do you live up to the standards? And what is the paperwork attached to it? And that's where this e-outlet is unique. We said we will handle it for
Mm-hmm.
you. We will do it for you because we want them to grow. Our basic motive is not to earn money. This is purely something we want to empower women. We want them to just grow, just grow. And we are there. It's a journey where we want them to grow as much as they should. The ability is there, the capability is there, and we are there to help you because it's for women. There is no cost attached, there is no paperwork. We will do the services for
Right.
you, we will handle the accounts for you, which is, I think it's
Right. So talking about sorry, I just lost you. I had to cut you because
sorry.
I couldn't hear the last bit of your this thing. I'll just go to the studio now. Now, basically, talking about free I think any business or any project needs to support people, right, in a certain way. So even for Bhavini, I think Bhavini, you have a Facebook group that is kind of free of cost, right? You just it's another very powerful platform because everyone is on Facebook, and you've been using this platform too to teach uh,
Yeah.
children and adults, right? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So, in addition to teaching languages through my school, I wanted to make language learning accessible to as many people as possible through, a bit of, say,
Right,
community service. And for that reason, I
right.
started a free Facebook group called Asian Language Learners, where I teach
Mm-hmm.
something on various different Indian languages, Indian culture,
Okay.
enhancing vocabulary. I go live in there, do classic
Right.
children's songs, meanings, poems, and word of the week. It's actually a growing
Okay.
community of Indians around the world, and it's grown massively in
Right.
just a few months.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that I'm able to
Okay.
serve fellow Indians in this way by igniting a passion for languages and teaching through my language school and the Facebook group as well for free in the Facebook group, of
Awesome.
course.
Awesome. Yeah. So maybe we can play a short video of your Facebook group, and then we can ask you a few questions in the meanwhile. How many people are there in your Facebook group?
Of now, just over 400.
Okay. But then, you do you have a target for, the number of people joining in and things like
Um,
that?
I don't have a target, but I want to obviously grow this community as much as possible,
Right.
because free community, and I want to reach as many people as possible because I teach, as you can see, I've done like lives in various different languages
Okay.
on there, and I have
Right.
Q&A sometimes. I give tips and games on what how people can teach the language at home, like job. So
Mm-hmm.
Diwali last year, when just before when I launched the group, I did this live on, if the sound is there, you'll be able to hear what.
Okay, okay. If you stop speaking, then maybe they can turn on the sound.
छोटे बत्तख तैरने गए पर्वत के पार कहीं दूर 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 मम्मी बत्तख बोली क्वैक 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 और सिर्फ 4 बत्तख वापस आए मैं एक बिलाड़ी पाड़ी छे ए रंगे बौरो पाड़ी छे ए हड़वे हड़वे चा
That's really sweet. That's that's
So
really, really sweet.
yeah,
Well,
it's really
actually, Bhavani,
popular.
I think we need to take a short break at this point. And we would have loved to continue with this conversation, but thank you so much. We'll have to let you go now, but thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best with
Thank
your
you.
business and with your initiative and your school. And of course, I'm sure it will grow now that you've become a part of the e-outlet. So, viewers, we'll take a short break right now, but do stay tuned for more discussions on the e-outlet on the other side of the break. Okay?
ਕੀ ਹਾਲ ਚਾਲ ਠੀਕ ਠਾਕ ਹੋ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਯੂਕੇਜ਼ ਇੰਡੀਪੈਂਡੈਂਟ ਰੈਗੂਲੇਟਰ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਵਿਡ ਦੀ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਰੂਵਲ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਯੂਕੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤਾਈਂ ਇਹ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਉਦੋਂ ਮੁਹੱਈਆ ਕਰਾਈ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਟੈਸਟ ਤੇ ਕਲੀਨਿਕਲ ਟ੍ਰਾਇਲਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰ ਲਏਗੀ। ਫਿਲਹਾਲ ਇਹ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ NHS ਵੱਲੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਈ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਏਗੀ ਇਹ ਵੈਕਸੀਨ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਤੱਕ ਵੀ ਪਹੁੰਚਾ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਏਗੀ। ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਡਿਸਟੈਂਸਿੰਗ ਮੇਨਟੇਨ ਰੱਖੋ।
Want a huge 120 gig for a teeny 20 pounds per month? This 5G ready SIM is the biggest, smallest thing to happen to your phone. Make any phone punch above its weight by connecting it to EE, the UK's #1 network, 7 years running. So get our smallest, biggest SIM-only deal, a whopping 120 gig for just 20 pounds per month, online or over the phone. That's kind of a big deal.
For the perfect card this Mother's Day, thinkthoughtful.com. Find the card that says, Mum, thanks for wiping my bum when I was little. Or, I love how we don't even have to say I'm your favourite child. Or maybe this year it's more like, I can't wait to give you a hug when I can see you for real. Happy Mother's Day. At Thoughtful, we have thousands of cards like these, all designed by independent designers. And this year, we're supporting NHS charities together. So 5p from every Mother's Day card will go to support NHS charities. For the perfect card, thinkthoughtful.com.
When it comes to equity release, we all have questions. How much, for instance, will it cost us? How will it affect our family? And which is the right product for us? So it's good to know Key has a wide range of different products to suit different needs, with competitive rates, no monthly repayments, and features such as inheritance protection for your loved ones. All Key's advice is free of charge, so getting answers to all your questions won't cost you a penny. Key, equity release that's right for you.
The magnificent Jaguar. Right now, their very survival is at risk. We have to save the Jaguar while we still have the chance. Please help this inspiring animal by adopting one today with WWF. You'll receive this fascinating adoption pack and an adorable cuddly toy. Call 0800 035 7107 or search WWF Jaguar. An incredible, living, breathing legend. We must do all we can to protect the Jaguar.
The new My WW Plus app gives you even more with a What's in Your Fridge feature to make meal planning easy. Join WW today and get your first month free.
Who knows what spring will bring?
My.
In our April draws, you could be full of the joys of a £30,000 win.
I entered and I bought tickets, but I never really thought I'd win.
And the best part is you get a chance to win every single day. Join before midnight on the 24th of March and you could be £30,000 happier.
They'll come with one of those massive checks. It's going to be great. Anyhow.
Someone's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell.
With furniture for today and all of your tomorrows, visit the Cotswold Company to find your forever furniture. Find thousands of pieces in-store and online at cotswoldco.com.
At Heycar, all our cars come with a warranty. And we offer a 10-day money-back guarantee.
Yeah. Yes, I can. Doubt, better leave. I run with this plan. Pull me, grab from the bucket, can't have me. I'll be the president one day. January 1st. Oh, you like that gossip? Like you the one drinking what gossip.com. Now I got a word for your tongue. How many Rolling Stones you want?
For the best quality cars, search Heycar now.
Hey, buying a car never felt so good.
Now is the time to switch to Co-op car insurance. So wherever you are along the road, we have you covered. With new prices and new features such as our uninsured driver promise that protects your no-claims discount, there's never been a better time to switch to Co-op car insurance. Plus, if you buy direct, you'll also get a £50 Co-op gift card. Switch to us today by searching Co-op car insurance or calling 0800 115 115. Co-op, it's what we do.
Welcome back to Inspiring Indian Women's Nari to Narayani. Today's episode is about e-outlet, a project that was designed by a charity of women to pave the road for self-reliance of women entrepreneurs. And we are in conversation with Sarika Handa, the customer relationship manager for the e-outlet. So, Sarika, thank you for joining us again in the second segment of the show. Now,
My pleasure.
you know, I've seen that you've been supporting, businesses who've registered in your platform through different social media channels. You're already showcasing the work they're doing and, giving them that boost already. So, how do you plan to support them going forward?
Right. So, what we have realized is that lot of women who want to come on board with us, they are struggling with some kind of infrastructure issues. And also, once they have give something to someone, they don't know how it is the customer was happy or not. So once we have this portal, which they will be able to sell their products and services include anything really. It as small as head massage. In Indian community, we are all so used to when we were growing up. So head massages or any other services, not only products. This is a very big
Right.
thing, which lot of people are not able to get that. And once they have, given that kind of an service or a product, and then they get the feedback about it. Till now, what used to happen is if you just go and deliver or, you post something, you may not know because there's not a portal. You can probably just reply,
Right.
it is nice or it is good. But a feedback which is visible to a lot of other clients, that just increases your horizon to a totally different level. Because how it happens is
Absolutely.
the talk goes from one person to another and another to third person. And I would say, oh, look, I had this foot massage and it was just awesome. And then another person go through it and then they come along. Now, all this has to be validated in some kind of infrastructure is required, some kind of database is required where this information has to be there.
Absolutely.
And a lot of small traders may not be able to do that. They may not be able to support that kind of infrastructure. And I think going forward, we have to make sure once they are registered, how they can benefit from it in every step they move forward. I would like to give an example here about Shweta Sharma. So she lost her job during the COVID. It was a very difficult time for all of us. And during that time,
Right.
she has come up with her own business of jewelry, and you wouldn't believe such exquisite pieces. And I was like, wow, if I know Shweta, I would be only one who will be able to buy. But imagine there
Right.
is this e-outlet with most of the Indian women's will be there. And why Indian? Lot of Britishers. They enjoy Indian culture. Our culture is so vast. I have seen them using the cardigans. I have seen them using the
Oh,
handicrafts,
yes.
jewelries. They just love it. And so
Absolutely,
once
absolutely.
we,
Bollywood is big. Bollywood is big
I
here. You won't
know.
believe the number of Bollywood themed parties that there are, that's doing the rounds. In fact, yeah, in fact, when I travel back home, some of the things that I'm told by, especially not just the people, not just the Brits, but people from Middle East, for example, they are big time into Indian, jewelry, Indian fabrics, Indian clothes. I mean, saris, which they cut into their kind of clothing. But yeah, you're right. And I find it very interesting that you actually mentioned tail malish. I mean, trust me, nothing beats
Exactly.
that. If
Absolutely.
after a,
Because
after
what
an
happens
entire
is,
day, yeah,
exactly,
absolutely. It's
because
very, very
every year
unique.
we have exactly because we have Karwa Chauth and then we think, oh, can we have someone? And then we have to plan and organize. And when we have, one shop where you get almost everything you can think of, it's just so easy for them.
Absolutely.
It's just a win-win
Hmm.
situation for the sellers as well as the buyers. I mean, that's the basic
Right.
motive of having this e-platform. In fact, I would say that's a probably a need rather than, it's something which is there. It's a need at this time
Yeah.
where I don't have to think twice that when I go to India, I'm going to buy this. And as little as, when in Diwali you want to buy some diyas, you go to Indian societies to get those things. And now here we
Right.
have people who are selling them. Also what
Right,
we've
right.
realized is people who are actually making it are not getting that
Mm-hmm.
benefit because there's a lot of intermediaries who are taking away the money. And to some
True,
extent, we
true.
do want to go back to that route as well, wherein the people who are
Right,
making it can be benefited. So definitely it's
true.
something, yeah, we would be very interested to see
Yeah,
that
in
how
fact,
we can do that.
yes.
Hmm.
In fact, talking about Shweta Sharma, I think she lives in Newcastle. I've seen a small video of hers.
You're right.
It's probably a Zoom a promotional. You were kind of supporting her business, and she was showcasing a thing. And I think one thing that she mentioned there is the fact that she comes from a very small town where the number of Indians are not
Exactly.
that many. But now, having moved on to an e-outlet where there are clientele from all over the UK at the moment, and especially that would really help her business because earlier on she was just depending on a local clientele, which is now going to kind of suddenly improve and expand. So that is also another
This
thing,
is
and
the
and it's interesting to have certain quintessential services that's like so
yes.
interesting for Indians, services and products for that matter. Small things for Karwa Chauth, for example. I mean, how just finding that which now becomes just a click away is making life a lot easier. So I think that's
Exactly.
quite good. Yeah. So
Exactly,
again,
exactly.
talking
I mean,
about
that was the
support,
entire point.
the yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So, talking about support, the project is also helping many vulnerable women entrepreneurs. I see, like, that's basically one of your vision to help vulnerable women entrepreneurs. So, would you like to talk a little bit about some of them and their extraordinary journey?
Right. Firstly, let me just tell you that the amount of things that are available, like handicrafts,
Mm-hmm.
candles,
Mm-hmm.
jewelries, textile,
Right.
I mean, you name it and
Mm-hmm.
it is there. It's the matter of getting it out. It's the matter of reaching to the people. And I do not say it is
Mm-hmm.
to a particular community, but masses.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to grow.
Right.
Now, I would come back to
Right.
the vulnerable side of it. Let me put another name
Mm-hmm.
here. There is a very sweet lady, Mrs. Sita Lata, and she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't well. She had issue with the kidney, and she had to go for dialysis for a couple of times in a week, or maybe three times. And with her daughter,
Okay.
being a single
Right.
mother, it was very difficult to her to
Mm-hmm.
manage. And then she had this tutoring work, which was so good.
Okay.
And then we realized that by herself, maybe she may not be able to reach the masses. And her daughter
Mm-hmm.
needs that support. She is vulnerable, so she cannot go to a lot of places. And people have to know about this. There is something called this chalk and duster. I'm not too sure if you have heard about it or not, but she's into it and she's running her tutoring classes. How nice is that?
Okay.
I mean, and it is not
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
to earn money. It's the quality, and the best thing I liked about our business and why we encourage women to come is it is not if you have money, then you can come for those classes. Obviously, one has to cover some cost and all, but even if you cannot and you need to study something, they do provide the services. I mean, I was so happy to see that humanity part of it, where she was struggling and she had this illness and she had a daughter and she was a single mother. And then she came
Mm-hmm.
up with these tuitions and tutoring classes. And I really want that people should understand and use those services and get it to
Absolutely.
lot of people, they need that kind of
Yeah,
education,
yeah, yeah.
kind of strong
Absolutely.
belongingness,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
which is a sheer, I mean, I
True, true.
really respect that. This is what empowerment is. This is how strong a lady can be. And we just want to give a little bit of our support and join hands to make their journey even happier. So, I
True,
was,
true.
you won't believe, Smita. I mean, you would sometimes think, but the number of people registering through us, and after knowing the stories and how
Mm-hmm.
COVID, it was a very difficult time for any of us. And a lot of women,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to women, and their empowerment, they have to be independent and have a lot of struggles. I
True.
mean, we've heard bruised women. I mean, they have to come
Mm-hmm.
up, they have to feel proud about something. And that's exactly what we
Absolutely.
want. That's exactly what we
Yeah, so
want.
I know. I mean, e-outlet is actually not a business, you know. So we now know that it's not really a business. We're just trying to do something which is for for a larger good. But how would you define success for your e-outlet? I mean, how would you kind of measure it eventually?
Right. So if you ask me in a nutshell, a success of e-outlet will be to see many happy faces, many proud women for
Hmm.
themselves, what they have done. I would be very happy to
Prosperous women, is
see.
it?
Yes, exactly. That coming
Happy,
from various
prosperous women. Yeah,
backgrounds.
absolutely.
Yes,
Hmm.
because we do not want them to feel that they do not have a big backing or they are not
Right.
registered. We want them to
Hmm.
feel as long as they have talent, we are there for them. We will help them. We will handhold and take him to the wider public. It's all about, I mean,
Okay.
I would be very happy to see that as many as women joining us, getting to, crossing all leaps and bounds and becoming independent. That would be a real
Okay.
success
So,
story, which I would see.
so
But on the same
right,
note, I
right.
would
But
also,
I'm
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand right now. Your e-outlet is kind of just a UK based platform, right? But you want to eventually make it bigger. I mean, what are your plans in the next couple of years? I mean, basically, I was trying to see how you plan to, I can understand that you want people to you want businesses to work and you want them to prosper, but are you also planning to kind of expand and expand to different countries, maybe bigger horizons, bigger outlets?
Right.
So,
Right. This is a very good question. I would not like to give a ballpoint number to this, that this many
okay.
customers we should have, or this many buyers, or this many sellers, because there is
No,
no
no,
end to
no.
it. And we may have crossed the
No, no,
number
no. I
by
wasn't
far
looking at the number
earlier.
game. No.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I would say that when it comes to getting people on board, we've come across a
Hmm.
lot of people back in India who are
Hmm.
making stuff or weavers at a very less cost. I mean, if I'll tell you the difference, you'll be astonished. And it's
No,
just
I won't
at
be.
that cost, yeah, believe
Yes.
me. And but by the time it reaches the market, it just got rocket high. Lot of intermediaries, I don't know, it's taxation and lot of other processes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which takes away the money.
Middlemen,
And when it
middle people. Absolutely.
middlemen,
Hmm.
exactly. And by
Yeah.
the time it reached
Hmm.
to the actual people, they trade not only double or triple, far more than that. Believe me, far more than that. And this
Right.
is what we want to break. We want that the people who are actually making it, the people who are finding it challenging, to get the
Hmm.
things across, and we should be able to
Right.
help them. We should be able to, get rid
Okay.
of a lot of these people who are in the middle and get them on the bigger board.
Hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. You are an IT professional yourself, and this is obviously an online platform. So let me ask you, it's a bit technical, but like, what kind of challenges have you faced so far?
Right, right, Smita. Yes, I have been into IT for a very long time in multiple geographies. And with my two little ones, I have two sons, it gets a bit difficult to go back to work, maybe sometime, God knows who. But having said that, because I was from IT and when I heard about this dream project, and I was like, such a
Mm.
noble cause. And if I can be a part of it or, value added in any way, I would be very happy with that. That
Hmm.
was my thought when I joined the project. And having
Right.
said that, the challenge when it comes to challenges, then one clear way is finance, to maintain the site,
Uh,
to get the customer support, to have it
that is
up and running the
always the biggest
site.
challenge.
It is,
Absolutely.
but I'm sure we'll work it out some way, and we will be able to provide that kind of help and services which when we envisage. At the same time, there's another challenge which is a little subtle in nature. We have women who are not that technologically, it is challenging for them. They're not
Yeah,
very
not
well
that
versed
tech
with the
savvy.
technical
Yeah.
issues. Yes, they are not,
Right.
they have not
Right.
used the application, so they're not that app savvy. They have not interacted much with internet. So I think
Mm-hmm.
from that perspective, to get them on board would be a challenge, and we need that pool of
Right.
skillful women who can then
Mm-hmm.
train them and can get them on board. So this is a bit of a challenge, not only in terms of technical things or applications or website or anything of that sort, but even the language. So when I spoke to a
So,
couple of them, I realized, yeah.
yeah. So, are
So
you
that
planning to train the people who are going to register with you? Is that also
to some
is
extent,
that also the
yes.
okay, okay,
Exactly,
okay.
because you know
Sorry, I
what will
interrupted.
happen that no, perfectly fine, because I'm sure that I want that this information should reach to the people, because the site
Right.
we should know that they should be able to use it. It is a very simple site like any other site,
Mm-hmm.
but still to
Mm-hmm.
reach to that level, how to place an order, how to add your things as a
Right.
seller. You may have 50 things to add on, or you may be showcasing some services, and you may not
Mm-hmm.
know how to do that. So we want them to
Yeah, absolutely. I
understand
think
that.
it has
How
to be
does it
user friendly,
work?
especially.
Yes,
Right. It
exactly.
has to be
And
user
also the
friendly, and
account.
especially women. I don't think women are take so much interest in technology, not as much as men do normally. Lots of times, men are a little more savvy because they keep paying the bills and doing a lot of things. I'm not trying
Or
to
maybe they have more time.
stereotypically, but yeah, yeah. I'm not
Let's
trying to,
put it where they
just
have. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
but it is true that sometimes women are not as tech savvy or as technically clued into things. So yeah, you need to probably create a platform that's really user friendly and is easy to kind of maneuver and go through, so that people
Exactly.
don't get turned off by it. That, oh my God, I can't find it. Or it's like so cluttered. So I'm sure as a platform that would be a challenge to create, uh,
Right. In
isn't it?
having said that, oh, I mean, in terms of technological advancement, definitely yes. And also sometimes
Yeah.
the language, because it's
Right.
English here, and I'm sure that is the language, but not
Right.
everybody is as well versed. So with this, when it is
Mm-hmm.
e-platform, it is easier. They do not have to speak. They do not have to, as long as they're talented, if they're providing some service or they're making some
Right.
lovely, paperwork. I'll tell you
Mhm.
about this lady, Vandana, and she makes some beautiful
Uh,
eco-friendly
yeah.
flowers, with paper.
Okay.
And most of the
I think we are
parties,
kind of running out of time right now.
okay,
I think
okay.
we are running
No,
out of time right now. Uh,
no worries, no
but
worries.
yeah, just
I would just
continue.
say that,
Just let me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would just say that, it
Let's
just
wrap up
help.
quickly.
We will
Right.
just, try to make sure that, we just go about it and we don't find these challenges going further.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. So for that, like your closing words, anything that you as a member of the e-outlet team wants to say before we wrap up the show?
Right. I would like to say, please come and join us. There is no better way of continuing this journey with you and us on board. It'll be a fantastic team. We are there for you. We are there for you to reach your dreams. I would be very happy to see as many women as possible on our board. Any ordinary women can do this extraordinary thing. That would be my last word. Come and join us.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sarika. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
viewers,
you,
for
Smita.
watching. And thank you, viewers. Thank you so much for watching. I hope these inputs have been helpful for you. And I wish you luck if you are planning to join the e-outlet team. And I wish the e-outlet team luck in the initiative that they are planning out for women. And a very, very happy International Women's Day month. I hope we have more power to us, and especially to the vulnerable and the downtrodden. Let's not forget them. Let's not just celebrate leaders, but let's celebrate every single woman. Let's just make it a beautiful world for them. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next month with another episode of Nari to Narayani. Bye bye for now, and take care.